Welcome to today's 3D print. I printed little Marvins, and this is a big Marvin. I had literal nightmares printing this thing. I mean, and someone turned the computer off and it didn't finish the last couple of layers. It's there. It's good enough. I'm probably gonna tear this out anyway because it's not a big enough bowl. You can't put no Marvins in there. I'd rather it be hollow. And you'll see the trouble I had doing that. And it's not the well, it might be related to the print, to these stupid little spider supports this thing makes. You can see it on there. It failed to print the ones in the middle. So as it was printing up, there was nothing in the middle to support this bowl. So I actually had to glue in some cardboard and plastic at the right level in there so that it would start building the support. Because it started building it later on, but of course it was midair, so it didn't really go anywhere. And it actually worked. It started building on the cardboard, but that failed because it didn't stick to the cardboard. So I glued some scrap PLA for a failed print on top of the cardboard, and that gave it a support to start building on. It wobbled a little bit inside, but it worked. It actually did manage to build the bowl. It must have stopped for filament jam, even though there was no actual jam, probably 10 times. I had to keep resuming, and amazingly it worked. And I had to pause several times to build in my support to get it to build in the middle of the device, the print. And it resumed like a champ. I mean, there's one big line right here where it didn't quite line up when it resumed or something. But overall, it lined up good. I'm impressed. So now let's get this off here. Well, there it goes. Cleaned it up. As annoying as it was, I think it was effective, had its job of creating supports. I think the filament jam error I got was actually from the supports. It has to print these spindly little supports all over the place. And I think because it had to drop such a tiny amount of filament so many times, that my printer just threw a conniption fit with it every now and then. Because there was never actually a jam. I would just hit resume and it would resume like nothing had happened. So it wasn't a true jam. It's just, I think because it was trying to deposit such a tiny amount of filament, it gave it a problem. It might also be because I had to scale this down to 76%, so that would also make the supports 24% smaller than designed, which would probably explain why it didn't print that support in the middle initially. It might have been below the printer's threshold for what was a invisible line for being too skinny. So that may have actually been my fault, not the modeler's fault, because overall, it did come out good. I'll give them credit. I mean, it looks good. And it took a knife to get the support out, but the support did break out and it did come off with minimal cleaning afterwards. I mean, I haven't sanded or grinded anything on this. All I've done is take a knife and chip away at the support and crack it all out, and it did clean up. This is because someone turned off the computer last night, so it did not finish the last 1%. Probably 2 layers of plastic would have been all I needed to finish this. I'm going to take my little soldering iron and try to melt that smooth a little bit just to make sure that's all connected good. Hold on. Well, that's kind of freaky how well that worked to actually clean up this print. I used the soldering iron to melt as much of the plastic together as it could without really changing the shape, just to make that bond a little stronger, and it actually worked. So, it's done. This is Marvin Display by Paintballmagic, which is a remix of the original Marvin by 3D Hubs. It's thing number 1320893. I think it's pretty cool. I'd like to see one where this is a little deeper. There's a lot of empty space in there, and heck, I'd like to see one just this empty. There's no reason to fill it in at all. Well, I guess it looks nicer, but I'd like to just fit more Marvins. Although I guess there's not enough Marvins right now to really fill that. But I'm impressed. I had fun. I like it. It took 2 days. A day, oh yeah, almost 2 days. Almost, not quite. A full night and a full day because, it stops and then just wait for somebody to hit resume and it stops and then wait to hit resume. Had to do that like 6 or 7 times. But otherwise, very cool. One more Marvin to add to my collection of Marvins.